know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it a back day. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Google signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even.
Welcome back to the newest edition of Once a Week. I'm Billy J. Ludis, and today we have a returning guest for you. If you have not checked out our first video, then it's about time you went into the Once a Week videos and find it, because our guest has an incredible story that we unpacked a number of months ago. But for today, we dive into his brand new book titled Stroke of Success: How Climbing the Ladder of Success Can Be Detrimental to Your Life. It is new and is in stores, but right now we give you a glimpse together. Everyone, I give you motivational and leadership speaker and author, Roderick Jefferson. Roderick, welcome back to the show. I'm grateful to have you here. Let's dive into it.
Thank you, man. I am so glad to be here. It's been way too long, Billy. We need to catch you up more often.
Right? No, I love it. I love it. Everyone, before we even hopped on, Roderick and I are connecting over. He's got a speaking gig coming up. At the time of this, it's December, but in May, he's coming to Boston. You guys know that's where I am. So we're going to connect over that. But like you said, it's been a while. Roderick, I think it was probably last May that we actually connected and had you on here. It's been a number of months. But even in that video, if people go back into YouTube and watch it, we talk about this Stroke of Success book. And it's unfolded. It's come to fruition. Now here it is. I even saw some of your social media clips. There it is. Right? Exactly.
My baby has now been birthed.
Right? I love it. I've seen it. You even have it on some of the shelves in the bookstores, correct?
Absolutely. It's in Barnes & Noble now. So
I love that.
It's out there. Go get it.
Yeah. Right?
I put my entire heart and soul into this. And I know we'll go deeper. I just want to say up front, this is my third book now. The first two I was blessed enough that they were bestsellers. This one, I believe, pales in contrast to this one, because this one is not about how do I garner more revenue? How do I make more money? This is literally about what happens when you put self-care on the side, when you allow your ego to drive you, and when you allow what you do to overtake who you are. Very, very nasty, ugly things happen.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And in our recent interview, we unpacked that just a little bit to how, or essentially what your story was that brought you to the stroke of success. Without me giving that story, I think you bring more of an energy, being the life experience. Tell people what that stroke of success was for you and how it unfolded into this new book people have to really look at themselves with a magnifying glass, for that matter.
Thank you for that opportunity. I appreciate it. So I call myself a recovering corporate executive. I spent time at VP, SVP level at AT&T, Siebel, eBay, HP, Oracle, Salesforce, Marketo, yada, yada, yada. I had the life that I would say most defines success. I had the big organization. I had the big budget. I'm flying around on corporate jets and corporate helicopters. I'm staying in the best of the best around the world. But the problem was everything that wasn't corporate had fallen by the wayside. I missed my daughter's 8th grade graduation. I missed athletic events. I missed dance competitions for my son. And my wife was feeling like a single mom, right? And then imagine you're on the top of your game. You're doing everything that you had prayed for and worked for professionally. And then you wake up one morning to find out that you had a massive stroke during the night. Now, thankfully, I'm blessed to still be here, because 98% of sleep stroke victims never wake up. I woke up, but I woke up a very different person than went to sleep. I woke up and I couldn't speak. Now, remember, professionally, I get paid to speak. I'm a keynote speaker. And I never realized how far the difference between your mind and your mouth is until that morning.
Right. It's powerful, Roderick. It really is. And, I sit there and my mind goes to, with you saying that, how many people do put the corporate job first? How many people do put the job first? And to hear your wife kind of had to handle everything, because, all right. But to me, growing up, the stigma that so many of us live by is if you're married, if you're in a relationship, whatever it is, all right, the man goes to work, the wife stays home, does that. That's
Our job
as
is
much
to
as
provide and protect, right?
exactly right. And now we're seeing some people still live by that definition, which to an extent is okay. However, I
It's
think the world
traditional.
it's traditional. The world is changing now where we do have to look back in the mirror and recognize, all right, how much of my life am I throwing away to just go make sure I have the external material factor, which
Absolutely.
would be money, everything like that. But then the more money we have, the less time we have to ourselves, which then drains us. So you lived that experience to the point where God got kind of gave you your own wake up call
Hmm.
in many ways, right?
Literally my own
Right?
wake-up call, right? Because you think about something, to your point, our job is to provide and protect,
Mhm.
right? But I realize the more money that you get one of two things. You get money or you get time,
Mm,
but you don't get both.
right.
Because time is the one thing that money can't buy.
Hmm.
And you can have oodles and oodles of that, but you're gonna have to give up what?
Yeah.
Your
Right.
life for your actual lifestyle.
Yeah.
I
Right.
wish someone would have told me this earlier in my life.
Yeah.
And when
Right.
I talk to my adult kids now, and they said, Dad, you provided a great life. We had, the nice vehicles. We lived in the nice neighborhood. We went on vacations to Europe, to Hawaii, etc. But we wish we would have had you
Yeah.
because, it's hard when they look out and everyone else's dad's out there, but theirs.
Right.
And my wife's going, I can hold it together, but I can't hold it down.
Gotcha.
Because that's why I married you, was for us together to do this, to raise the kids, to instill our morals, standards, ethics, values. And I wasn't doing that because I was so worried about the big logo or being able to say I worked at so and so or this
Mhm.
was my title. I've realized now in talking to a number of my friends that live in Europe, and the people on my team that are European used to just frustrate me to no end, Billy,
Mhm.
for one
Gotcha.
reason. I'm like, when do you guys actually work? There's always a bank holiday, and then you're off for this, and then you're off for August for holiday. I think they get it right. Because
Yeah.
in our world, what's the first thing we do when we meet someone? We extend a hand and we say, Hi, my name is so and so, my title is this, and I
Mhm.
work at this place.
Right.
Not in Europe. It's hi, nice to meet you.
Mm.
Tell me about you. What
Yeah.
makes you tick? What do you enjoy? What do you do for fun? And that's another thing. I wasn't
Yeah.
having fun.
Mm.
Oh, I was killing it by all accounts, but I
Yeah.
wasn't having fun. I remember being in this beautiful castle in the south of France,
Mhm.
crying myself to sleep because I missed my daughter's eighth grade graduation.
Yeah.
I remember, and this was, I go back even before we had FaceTime, where all we could do was just talk.
Exactly.
And I was on the road for 10, 12 times, 12 days at a time. I'd come
Mhm.
home for 2, 3, and then I'm back on the road again.
Right.
And then I started feeling like an ATM machine.
Yeah.
And they weren't making me feel like that.
Mhm.
My own ego was doing that.
True.
It's like, well, I give you guys everything you need. No, Dad, we need you.
Yeah.
We need life. We need love. We need hugs. We need dinners. We need conversation. We need you present.
Right.
And then you're right. What God said was, okay, we let you play and have fun for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow you down now. To
Exactly.
the point to where all I could do was listen to him because
Hmm.
I couldn't talk. I
Yep.
lost the use of my mouth. My voice went away. I was paralyzed across the entire left side of my body. So
Mm.
imagine having to start all over again.
Right.
Walk, talk, spoons, tie shoes, zippers, all that.
Yeah.
Why? Because I wanted to say that I worked at a certain company. And because, like a lot of people do, whether you're in corporate or an entrepreneur, 60, 70 hours, that's just kind of, par for the course. No, it isn't.
Right.
It's what we have fallen in for. Because I
Mhm.
realize now, corporate America is here to make a profit, not friends. They could
Yeah.
care less about us individually. And I think, especially the folks that live here in the United States, we're seeing that every day,
Yeah.
politically and geopolitically.
Exactly.
And
Right.
so I now realize that had I died, which I did, and thankfully I was brought back, we'll talk about that later. But
Sure.
had I not actually come back,
Hmm.
here's what corporate would have done. They would have put some really nice flowery things on social media about me and my job because they don't know me personally.
Exactly.
Then they'll put out a distribution check to my wife. Then they'll open a new rec and replace
Yep.
me because they still have a job to do.
Exactly. Just a number. Right.
Just the cog.
Yeah. Exactly. You bring up a lot of key points, Roderick, and one, you said it so swiftly, you wish you knew this when you were younger. And
Yeah.
that right there is something. It's funny. I was talking to a fellow entrepreneur. He's in his 50s or so, a fellow entrepreneur last week or so. And he was telling me about his sons, and they're wrestlers. And, he wants the best for them, and they're athletes. They want to be the best athletes, the whole nine yards. And this dad is asking me, how do I help them navigate with life, school life for that matter? And he's looking at me looking for answers. And I know,
Hmm.
like, I'm 32, I'm younger and everything. I've lived that life of trying to navigate the social world in school.
Mhm.
But you said something that lines up perfectly to what these kids today need to learn, is to, when you're in the corporate world or the work world, for people listening, whatever your job might be, you choose time, obviously money, everything like that, family, what social life, whatever it is. In school, I was raised, our generation was raised, for that matter, people listening, was you have school, you have friends, and you have athletics. Pick two, throw one away.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah. You
and
can't
that's
have it all.
right. So the corporate world, that jumped in my mind when you were going over it, is I was taught that at a young age for a school setting, but that transfers right over into the corporate world. You went through that where, all right, well, I have family, I have a paycheck, I have to travel and do X, Y, and Z. Choose two, put one on the back burner. Right. And then God comes to us and he goes, hey, I get it. You had your way, you went your way. Now come my way. And
And
essentially,
I chose wrong.
as we all usually do.
Yeah.
Correct, right? And then that's where we can choose wrong as many times as we want to, but then God puts a wall up and goes, hey, guess what? Come my way. And then even if we, I always sit there and use my own personal example where, how can I even explain it? I was going a certain way in life, and I knew what my goal was. I knew what my dream was. I knew what my passion. I wanted to speak to all these audiences and everything like that. And I was so in my comfort zone with the people around me, not in a negative way, just the group I was with was like, okay, cool. Yeah. Okay. I love coming here. This is awesome. And then God's putting it on my heart. Hey, I need you to leave this and walk that way. And I kept hearing that, kept hearing that. No, I was comfortable. But
Yeah.
God knew what my dreams were, knew what my goals were, knew what I really wanted and what would be best for Billy. And so he had to turn those people against me in certain ways. And I say that where it's like, oh, what did Billy do? No, I literally can look back and be like, no, those people just started turning.
Yeah.
God has to change the world you're in. So you have to get up and walk towards what you're meant for. So he will bring pain to what it is. So your dream will continue to pull you to where you're meant to be. And
Yes,
for
indeed.
you, family, corporate, what was more important? Family, you're staying awake crying at night because you know what your heart truly wanted.
Yeah.
And God was going to make a way for that to happen.
Yeah. I had made myself believe that I was doing the right thing. And I knew in my soul that I wasn't, because I was feeding the family, but I wasn't feeding my soul. And I
Yeah.
certainly wasn't feeding theirs. That's
Mm,
for certain. And you're absolutely right. And I was talking to someone about this just the other day, and that is, in order for you to change, you have to change your mindset and you have to change your situation, i.e., your friends. Your
yeah.
friend circle is going to shift, and
Yep.
it's going to shift astronomically. And it's generally the people that you think, that's my ride or die. We're going to be like this, and we're going to be old folks in the old folk home together. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Because to your point, you've gotten too comfortable.
Yeah.
And the one thing I realized from my medical situation was you have to learn to get comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Very true.
And
Right.
until you do, you're going to keep doing the same things and you're never going to move forward. You're like, how come I don't get that promotion? How come I don't get the new job? How come I can't afford this? How come I'm always struggling? How come people are leaving? Because to your point, you stayed in that comfort zone.
Yep.
Right. And you know the old adage, if I'm the same person at 50 that I was at 20, I wasted 30 years.
Yeah. It's
I
true.
was wasting years.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
God said, enough.
Yep.
And I realized that, and my analogy is, every time I try and drive the bus
Mhm.
or, or take control of the wheel, if you will,
Yep.
I hit a wall or I hit a tree.
Yeah.
But when I get in the passenger side and I allow God to drive the bus, the car,
Yep.
whatever it may be, I realize now, in, I'd like to say, some sense of wisdom at my age,
Mhm.
that the view in the passenger side is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
It takes a while and years of maturity to realize that.
For sure. I love that. I love that so much. Let's step into the stroke of success, because
Yeah.
I know you gave us a little hint over the story and whatnot. You said we'd unpack it later. Let's dive into it for people now. And this whole show, this whole the episode, I guess, I want people to grasp this, and I want people to truly go grasp the physical copy of your book off the
Thank you.
shelf, because the story that you've explained to us, one on the first episode we had you on, but two this, and people just got a taste of it, where what you went through, the ego portion, whatnot, coming to a place of, hey, God's going to step in. Tell us in your own words as we step into this realm for the set for essentially for people listening the first time. Struggle of success. Oh wow, what's this? Wait, detrimental to my life. What does that mean? What would you say if someone just came up to you and asked about your book?
What my book is about is what happens when you are out of balance.
Mm,
You don't focus on mindfulness, and you don't focus on and allow yourself to have some grace.
yeah.
And what I mean by that is, and I'll give you a story. I was doing a keynote down in Los Angeles. I live up in Northern California,
Mm,
and went to sleep like every other night. Woke up the next day and nothing was like it ever was.
mm,
To me, I heard my voice the same way that you're hearing it right now.
mm,
And thankfully, my wife and I, when I'm on the road, we jump on FaceTime. Hey, what's going on? How's the kids? What's going on with your day? Here's my agenda, those kind of things. She couldn't tell what I was saying. It
mm,
was just a bunch of gobbledygook.
yeah.
And thankfully, a friend of hers had a small TIA, which is a precursor to a stroke. Let's allow it, let's kind of align it to a warning shot across the bow.
Gotcha.
I
Mm,
didn't listen to my warning shots, clearly.
mm,
So we're talking, and she's like, count to 10 for you. For me. And I go, come on now, really? 1, 2, 12, 57, 39, 44. Count to, I need you to say your ABCs. A, B, L, Q, X, W, Y, H, G. And she said, I need to see your face. Jump on FaceTime, and so I can see if your face is drooping or not.
wow.
And thankfully I wasn't. But she
Okay.
said, babe, I need you to call. Because I had someone on my team with me at the time, a director, Tim Carlson, who and Tim, I know you're listening because you always do, man. I can't say thank you enough
Mm,
for literally saving my life. Because we're all of the age where we understand tomorrow's not promised.
yeah.
I'm going to tell you what happened when I didn't have it tomorrow now.
Mm,
So I wake up, we go through the different signs of a stroke. And now in comes all the folks. They take me off into the ambulance. I'm off at the hospital, all kinds of things. They go through a bunch of tests. Oh, but
mm,
they release me the same day. Oh, he's okay. Wait, he can't talk. He can't move his entire left side. But they release me. Fast
mm,
forward. I'm going home that day. I jump on a plane and I fly back to Northern California.
okay.
The next 3 days, I don't remember. But I do know that my wife told me the first thing that my now neurologist and cardiologist says is, he's a miracle. There's absolutely no reason medically he should be alive.
Wow.
Altitude, cabin pressure, mid-stroke,
Yeah.
bad combination.
Wow.
So fast forward, I'm there for about 12 days.
Mm,
And all of a sudden, and I'm having a difficult time breathing.
mm,
And so they've got oxygen mask on me. And suddenly I hear code blue and the lights are all flashing. And it's my room.
mm,
And so I'm struggling. And think about when you go to the dentist and you get twilight or you get gas, right?
mm.
You can hear things, but you can't really tell what they're saying. It sounds kind of like Charlie Brown's teacher,
Gotcha.
right? Just
Yeah.
like wah,
Right.
wah, wah.
Yeah.
I go from beep, 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 beep. I'm flatlined, Billy. I am medically dead.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't walk into a light or anything like that. What happened is I floated up to the corner of the room. I'm
Mm,
looking down on them, and the doctors and nurses are working on my body, sucking out fluids. They're doing chest compression and all of that, right?
yeah.
I look to my left, and it's my mom. My mom
Yeah.
died in 1999. So
Wow.
my first thing I say to her is, good and faithful servant, I'm ready to go home. I've done
Mm,
everything that I can do here. And she said, no, baby, I
yeah.
was sent here to tell you it's going to work out and they're going to figure out what's going on.
That's
But
awesome.
I'm still flatlined now. At this
Mm,
point, I'm sucked back into my body. So now
mm,
here's the near-death experience. My chest is killing me because they're doing all the chest compression on me.
sure.
And I'm still flatlined. And then I hear the one word that no one wants to hear. Clear.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Whoa. That's not what we want to do. Now,
Yeah.
thank God he's on my right side, because remember me saying my entire left side is paralyzed.
Right.
So he's rubbing the paddles, he's coming down on me, and I'm still beep, and suddenly it goes to beep, 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 and I'm back. And I grab his hand.
Wow.
Now all of a sudden they yell for ERT, which is the emergency response team. They
Yeah.
come in and they run through a bunch of different rigmarole things, but I still can't talk.
Yeah.
So I'm laying in the hospital bed after all this, and I said, "Okay, God, I'm gonna listen." Because like I had a choice, right? Big guy over here. Yeah, I'm going to tell God, I got time for you now, right? And I had a conversation on a level that I've never had in my life.
Yeah.
And thankfully, because as we know, and I never compare myself, I always say that I had a stroke. Some people had a stroke. Now, people out there going, yeah, I've never had a stroke, so this doesn't really make sense and it's not resonating. Let me help you. According to the American Stroke Society, 1 out of every 4 adults globally will have a stroke. This was my second. I didn't even know I had my first.
Wow. Yeah.
Now, maybe you're not going to have that. Maybe you're having difficulties in life like we were talking about, whether it's maritally, whether it's financially, whether it's professionally.
Mm-hmm.
This book is not about my stroke. That's just chapter 2. This is the second piece. I wrote it as a play. The first was the rise. The second was the drop and the dip. Now let's talk about the third piece. And I call it the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Nice.
We're all going through something.
Yep.
Right? Because life is life, and right now, like I've never seen it before. And I'm not talking just politically. I'm talking about life in general is life, and it's life and hard.
Yeah.
That's why I wrote the book. Was for anyone that's going through difficult times, and we all go through them. How do you turn those missteps and mistakes into stepping stones?
Yeah.
And move forward with them? How do you now find a way to pull yourself up out of the muck and the mire? Whether it's PTSD, which I understand now because writing this book created an enormous amount of PTSD. There were days where I was in tears. There were days I was shaking and I almost gave up and quit, which I don't ever do.
Yeah.
And I heard my mom's voice and she said, "Baby, this book is not for you." So I'm speaking now to the people that this book is written for. This is about how do you not become me, but how do you find that balance? How do you find that self-care? How do you find the 4 F's that I now live by? Faith, family, friends, and fun. And that last one as adults, we're very, very good at not having fun or not making time for fun.
Right.
It goes back to the thing I said earlier. What do you do for a living? Where do you work? What's your name? What's your zip code? What do you drive? Those things really don't matter. What really matters is who's in my corner and who's a part of my tribe.
Right.
And do I need to change my tribe? Because is my tribe really an echo chamber? Or is it a support system? And what's the difference? I talk about all of that in the book.
Yeah.
I'm not here to sell books. The book's selling on its own, and I'm blessed that it is.
Yep.
I'm here because if I can do one thing, and that's change someone else's life and not have them go through the difficulties I did, then I can now look at my mom and say, the things you sent me back to go and do, I've done those in multiplicity.
It's awesome.
I may not be able to change your life and make it easier, but I can make it just a little bit better.
Yeah.
If you follow some of the things that I did and don't step in the same holes I did and break your ankle, or learn and glean from the things that are in this text to go, man, I am on a fast track to doing the same thing. Or we all know the definition of insanity, doing the same things and expecting a different result. I actually talk to you about how do you get off that hamster wheel and actually change your circumstances, change your mindset so that you do begin to do things differently and start having a better life and start living, not just existing. If I can do that, mission accomplished.
For sure. Yeah. It's so powerful, Roderick. It really is. And I was going to ask a question, and it's funny your mom answered it. I was going to ask you in the sense of, we all go through so many struggles in life. And it's funny, my last Sunday's message was a solo message for me, going over how all the hard times, the tough times we go through are meant to leave a story behind for the person behind us so they know how to pivot, how to walk through, how to navigate it. Your mom gave you that answer. and your mom told you when that PTSD really started to rise when you're writing. It's like, oh my goodness, this is making me have flashbacks essentially, and said relive the pain.
Yes.
From a psychological perspective, I give you the most credit in the world, because that process in itself is the healing step not many people want to do psychologically. When we can go back and look from a different perspective, something, whether we're writing about it, thinking about it, talking about whatever it is, when we face that PTSD and we have to get over that hurdle, very few actually try to navigate over that hurdle. Most
It's
people
tough.
stop, right? And when
It's
you're
tough.
writing it, you're going over, your mom's like, hey, this isn't for you. This is to help everyone behind you. Or in some examples, when you're climbing up the mountain, reach a hand back down and pull the next person up. And that's what you're guiding people to do. You're helping them navigate, take a step this way, take a step this way, so they can, one, navigate their own story by learning from yours. That's the motivational factor in you. But then two, you're giving people, I don't want to say a blueprint, because everyone's story has their own blueprint, but you're giving them tips and tricks to help them recognize, like, hey, when you look in the mirror, who are you? Because you aren't what you do, you're an individual. Who is that individual? And that's what the stroke of success means to me, just from what you've told me. It's helping people find their own stroke of success in a much different definition than what your
Absolutely.
stroke was.
Absolutely.
But you're helping them take their ego and realize this isn't everything. There's so much more to my life. Let's lower this and raise this, for that matter.
Yeah. I what I want people to really walk away from is a simple question. And you have to be 100% honest with yourself. You look in the mirror and say, do I love this person I see? Oh, yeah. Do I like this person that I see?
Mm.
That's the big question. And if the answer is no, what do I need to work on and change to like me? Because it's very easy to love yourself. That's ego. But learning to like yourself is a whole other thing.
Mm.
And another thing my mom has impressed upon me my entire life, regardless of what you believe in, who you believe in,
Yep.
entirely up to you. I learned early in life that faith is never tested during good times.
Mm.
It's very easy to be faithful
Yep.
when everything's going well. So when the bottom's falling out, when you've got bills and you don't know how you're going to pay them, you've got lights to keep on, you've got food to put on the table, you've got kids or a significant other to help take care of. Or success certain days for me is getting out of bed and making sure that I do my face and shower and do my teeth. That's all I got today.
Yep.
I don't think that we have 100% every day. Some
True.
days you got 2%. You know what? Run with that 2%.
Yeah.
Other days you got 98. Run with that one.
Mm-hmm.
But it all comes down to, what success mean to you? But here's the bigger question that I would now pose to your audience. Now you figured out what success means. At what cost? Because we said earlier, you don't get it all. What are you willing to give up?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you don't get that choice. Mm-hmm. So while we're in a position where we can, think about, if I only had 3 things, money, family, friends, whatever it is, and I've got to keep 2 and get rid of 1. Never, ever forget what's your why. Your why is the 2 things that you keep, not the things you let go of.
Right. I love that, and it makes me ask the question for the readers that are going to pick up their book, pick up your book. Should they know, you being the author, should someone know their why going into your book, or should your book help them figure out their why?
Oh, I think it'll help you. If you don't have it, by the time you get to chapter 5, I guarantee you, out of 14, by the time you get to 5, because there's some very specific things that I'm going to challenge you with in the first 4. And by then, you will clearly see what your why is. If you think that you know your why, by 5, it may not actually be your why.
Awesome.
It may be a byproduct of your why.
Yep.
But once you figure out what your why truly is, it's crystal clear. And it's not, because I do the same thing every year. I don't do resolutions and those kind of things.
Yep.
I let that go a long time ago. But we do create one word for the year that we're going to stand on for this year.
Nice.
Let me help you. That may not even be your why. That may be a byproduct of what your why really is. For me, my why is my 4 F's.
Yep.
Faith, family, friends, and fun. Anything outside of that doesn't even really hit my radar anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Notice I didn't say money. I didn't say big house. I didn't say I want a boat. No.
Yep.
And that's okay to want those things. It's okay to work for those things. It's not okay to be obsessed by those things. I was obsessed by all of that unnecessary materialistic mindset.
Yep.
Until I realized, okay, it's great. I've got the Mercedes, but I can't drive because I have no left side of my body that works.
True. Yeah.
They literally took my license away for a while and did not allow me to drive. Then I couldn't drive at night because after the stroke, my vision changed.
Gotcha.
So why have all this stuff? I've got a beautiful bocce ball court in the backyard. I couldn't even lift the balls.
Yeah.
I couldn't stand up long enough to go out there and play.
Right.
I love barbecuing. I'm a Texan. That's what we do.
Yeah.
I didn't even have the energy to go stand out over the pit anymore.
Yep.
That wasn't my why anymore.
Right.
My why were the people that I wasn't there for when they needed me, and I couldn't exist without them being there for me.
Yep. Right. It makes me think, Roderick, money, cars, luxury, houses, whatever it is. At the end of the day, whatever is on our to-do list in life that we want to get is us trying to get a feeling. We're trying to catch an emotion. We're trying to catch something.
Absolutely.
And we think money is going to help us experience, which I get it. Money can buy you everything for that
Well,
matter.
you can rent happiness, but you can't really buy it.
Exactly it.
You can buy some semblance of freedom, though. I will admit to that. I'll tell you what my uncle used to say, Billy.
Okay.
And now I find it almost funny.
Yeah.
He said, nephew, have you ever seen a U-Haul connected to a hearse?
Right. Exactly.
I said, no, sir. He said, because you can't take it with you.
Exactly.
So find another reason for your why.
Yeah.
And
right.
it could be that what I said earlier.
Yeah.
The peace that comes from just being able to look into the mirror and say, hey, I like this person I see.
Yeah. Right.
There's some sense of solace and peace. Or, no, I don't have to work 600 hours a week. Give myself some grace. I'm going to take Saturdays off and just hang out. Last weekend, all I did was lay on the couch. I watched football until it started watching me. Yeah. I don't know the last time I did that. And I have not felt better. We got up. We put the Christmas tree up. Now, to your point, it's a feeling. I keep telling my wife for the last 5-10 years, just haven't felt very fa-la-la this time of the year.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so excited for this time. I'm not talking about for the presents and unwrapping. I mean the true feeling of this time of the year. Because this is the one time of the year where people are genuinely nice to each other.
It's true. It's very true. Exactly. Right?
I've seen more people open doors and I've heard more thank yous in the last couple of weeks than I do all year.
That's awesome. Yeah. It's true. It's
just bottle that up.
Yep.
And hold on to it.
Yeah.
Then I won't ever have to write a book like this again. Right?
I get that. But no, that's the point. That's the whole message right there. That's what I was saying. Like, for people listening, money can catch you a feeling, but to hold on to it, there's other factors of your life. There's other parts of your life that will give you the emotion that you're really searching for. And that to Roderick's points, his 4 F's give him the emotion. And it took the stroke of success to show him what his true success is, which are everything labeled in those 4 F's. And that's what life is all about. So for people listening, what are your 4 F's? Maybe you have a whole different set of letters. Maybe yours is something else. But what are you trying to catch in your life? And not just, hey, there it is, cool, but to truly hold close to your heart. Yeah. Is that love? Is that time with friends, family, everything under the sun? Is that whatever?
Acceptance?
Right?
Is it grace?
Exactly. Yep. Right? Yeah. So to your stroke of success, Roderick, you've brought so much to the table in just this one interview, plus our last one. People being able to go pick up their book, they're not just going to get, oh, cool, a few pages. Oh, cool, this is a self-help book. Oh, cool.
No, it's not that.
It's so much deeper. It's so much more powerful where it's, to your mom's point, and I guarantee she's emphasizing these words behind me right now, I 100% can assure you your book is life-changing for those that pick it up.
Thank you. That is why I wrote it, to be a life changer. It's not, oh, I want to be a bestseller. Oh, I want to be on the New York. I don't care about those things. What I really care about is I've touched and I've changed lives. I told my wife the other day, and we were just talking we're at that age now. Okay, if something happens to me, what do we do? And I
Yep.
said, at my funeral, no one's allowed to talk about where I worked, what I did, any of my keynote speeches, anything that any accolade or award. They're only
Mm,
allowed to talk about one thing. How did they feel after I interacted with them and walked away from them?
it's awesome.
What impacted them the most?
Right.
That's all that matters
Yeah.
at this age and stage. It really and truly is.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. It brings up a memory of my own, and we'll start to close this thing out with this. But uh, when my grandfather passed away, he was the first one over here from Greece. He's basically brought our family over here, and
Mhm.
you know, when he passed away, we're Greek, so when someone passes away, naturally to everyone in the world, it's a devastating moment. But I've noticed, at least in my Greek culture, when someone passes away, we hold on to the anguish of that. And that's
Mm.
never been me. I've never been someone, I've just been a happy go lucky, joyful person. So when he passed away, everyone naturally is crying and everything. And we're at this, we had just had the funeral. Everyone goes for this big dinner after to remember. Well, I said, all right, well, if we're going to remember, we're going to remember the good times,
Yeah,
and rather
as
than
it
people
should
crying,
be.
as it should
It should
be,
be a celebration.
right? So they asked the four grandkids, the two girls and me and my brother, to say some words before we all ate dinner. Everyone's weeping, crying, and my youngest cousin, she is bawling her eyes out, reading from her phone, rightfully so. Next oldest girl, rightfully so, and then me. Well, all right. Well, here I come trying to make sure I'm going to uplift this room, and I start going over this story that he used to tell me that. Uh, one of his final days, I went to go sit with him on the couch before we knew he was essentially on his way out. And he told me the story, and he fell asleep, and he had his eyes closed, and he goes, "Bill, let me just tell you." He told me the story of this when he was a little kid in Greece, where there was no money whatsoever. He grew up on a farm, and there was a woman that came and gave bread to and but she only had enough for what she gave, and then she saved two loaves for her own kids, and they were very poor and whatnot. So she gave the two loaves to her kids, and the kids look at her and go, "Well, mommy, what are you gonna eat?" She goes, "Oh, don't worry, you just have it." And as my grandfather is telling me this story, and he provided for everyone, he worked his ass off to make a life for everyone,
Mhm.
and he's telling me this, and as he's telling me this, he's fading, and he starts to fall asleep, and he's just sleeping as he tells me, like, as she gave the bread, and then she fell asleep. And Papa was as Greek for grandfather. I go, "Papa." He goes, "Huh?" I go, "Thanks for the bread." Because he's the one that gave it. And he goes, "Oh," and naturally, "Oh, of course." He just goes right back to sleep. That's it. Completely forgot. So I brought that story and I told it to everyone at his funeral. And then people are recognizing who he truly was, not for this sad moment, but what he truly meant for everyone.
It
That to
changed
me
all of your
was what it
lives.
should exactly what it should be. And everyone's roaring, they're clapping, everything. And I passed the mic to my brother. He was supposed to go last because he's the oldest. He goes, "What Bill said," and just, and so we all went, we ate, but the rest of the
Love
time
it.
was smiles and laughter, because that to me is like, yes, a funeral is a sad time, but it's meant to be a memory. And
Absolutely.
why only focus on the loss when there is so much that we gain because of that person? Let's remember that.
Absolutely.
So for you and your wife to have that conversation, as tough of a conversation as that might be, you're right on the money. You know, what's
Thank
the memory? What are we going to remember? And you left a mark with everyone. You left a stroke of success on every single person that you've come across, Roderick. And I know that just from knowing you for a few moments in my life, for that matter. But I can assure you, just after knowing you, talking to you, hearing the energy, hearing the passion in your words, knowing your book is written with so much love, but so much light, that is going to affect every single heart it comes across. And I don't say that just as speaker to speaker. I say that from person to person.
Thank you so much.
I can hear it in your words. And for people listening, I want you to go pick that book up, because it's going to leave a mark on your heart that will open up into something greater when you utilize what is in the pages. So go pick the book up, read it at your own pace. Maybe that's a page a day, maybe that's a paragraph a day, whatever you can do, but know it will leave an impact on you. And in that, Roderick, I pass it all back off to you for thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Let's close this out for people right now. You brought us through the book. You brought us and gave us a taste of what it is. Where can people find it?
Thanks for that. There are two places. If you're here in the States, you can go to roderickjefferson.com
Mm,
and I will actually sign it, and it's not a rubber stamp or anything. Um, and let me know if you want me to sign it to you or to someone else that you're going to give it as a gift. If you are internationally living, then I would highly recommend go directly to Amazon and you can grab a place there. If you have a Barnes and Noble near you, surprise, it's actually in Barnes and Noble now, so you can go
Nice.
grab your own copy as well. And I'm not one that says, "Oh, just go buy the book." I really want to hear from the listeners and the readers how this book touched and impacted you. So if you want to send something out to me and you're on LinkedIn, find me, Roderick Jefferson. You can send me an email, roderick@roderickjefferson.com. And believe me, I go through these diligently. Yes, my admin looks at them, but I'm the one responding. So, and
Yeah.
if you do get the book, please, I'm putting together a collage.
Mm.
And what I want to be able to do is understand how wide and what's the depth and breadth of the impact of this. So if you get the book, please just take a picture of you holding it, send it over to me. When you get the book, you'll get all the information, but send an email, excuse me, over to Roderick@roderickjefferson.com.
Mm.
And I would love to have you as a part of my collage of my chosen family.
It's awesome. I love that. It's funny. I have a Barnes and Noble near me, but I really want to sign copies, so I think I'm ordering from the website.
Go right ahead.
That's awesome. I love that. You're gonna see my name come through. But everyone listening, everyone watching right now, you just heard from Roderick himself, where you can go find the book, or you can go on the website and find it that way too. Find him on social media. Tell him what you think. Heck, find him on social media and bring up one of our conversations just as much. If something sparked you
Absolutely.
in this interview, reach out to him. Maybe you're someone looking for a speaker for your own company. Roderick brings the motivational aspect, the leadership aspect, but the story's backing it. And that's something, Roderick and I are in the speaking world. When you have a speaker that can bring so much energy, passion, but story behind it, they leave their mark. And
Thank
that's found in the book, but that's found on the stage as well. People, go to Roderick's website, learn more about him, reach out to him with your questions and comments. But those credits are about to roll. And if you go to the YouTube description, you're going to find the links for everything Roderick just said. Makes it that much easier for you to go find him, to go grab the book, whatever it is. So go check that out. But Roderick, one last question, just like our last video, we want to end it on, what is a lasting message you want to leave with everyone before we close this whole thing out?
When I was younger, people used to say the only thing that you can control is your attitude.
Hmm.
I think I'm going to add on to that. You can control your attitude, but you can also control how you impact others, either either positively or negatively.
Mm.
So every time you go out, I hope you can do what my mom left me with during my near-death experience. She said, "Son, I want you to go, and your job is to now give a smile to one person every day that may not have actually gotten a smile in a long time." I said, "How am I supposed to know who has a smile and who doesn't?" She said, "Exactly. Let's go give a smile to everybody that you come in contact with." And that may be the one smile that person gets all day. And I mean what we call the invisible people. Think about the folks the waiters and waitresses, the bartenders, the people that are checking you in at the hotels, the valets, the Uber drivers, all these people that we see, but we see through sometimes. You may be the one thing that keeps somebody on this earth.
It's true.
I've had someone now read the book and reached out and said they were about to just
Wow.
kick the bucket and give up. And I
Mm.
read that book and now they're still here. I don't say that with an ego. I say from the bottom of my soul, now you go and be that person that keeps one person alive that you
Mhm.
may or may not ever see again.
Awesome. Mm, I love that. That's, if there was anything to put a final period exclamation point on this interview, Roderick, is that. And it's funny, this entire interview is filled with golden nuggets for people listening right now. And that, what you just said, is a major clip. And I'm excited for people to hear that. And if they only hear that one clip, that to me, stamp right there. It allows them on. So people listening, people viewing, that to me is who Roderick is. And for his mom to instill so much in him and to see where his life path went and where it is going, it's a massive light that has been beaming and beaming and beaming. Now you get to pick up the book and read it in your own words. But Roderick, I thank you so much for being here.
Thank
I
you.
love our time. I'm excited for May when you come to Boston, because we're going to connect.
I can't wait till we get together and get a chance to break bread.
I love it. I love it so much. I thank you so much for the time. Everyone watching and viewing right now, I thank you for being here. Please like this message on YouTube and hit that thumbs up on below. Share it to someone who you feel needs to hear it. Maybe it is to share Roderick's book for that person. Maybe it's just something we say in this video that might touch their heart and will help them. Not to share Roderick, not to share Billy, but to help someone else, just as Roderick just said. Maybe it's a smile, maybe it's a share. Thank you for doing so. But thank you for subscribing to Once a Week. That number is going up every single week, and we're so grateful to have you here. And if you're in need of a coach to any of the areas we touched on today, go to BillyGLifeCoaching.com. You'll set up a free call with me, and let's break through. Let's help, and maybe you're going through your own struggles. I want to be there, lend a hand, and help you as much as possible. But like I said, the credits are about to roll. You're about to see all of Roderick's links roll, but go to the YouTube description, click on them yourself, go follow him, go add him on LinkedIn, go message him if you have a question, but go to his website, check out that book, and see everything else he's bringing to the table. But lastly, Roderick, it's been an absolute blast. I love having you here. I'm looking forward to our next one. Hopefully it won't be 6 months in between like the last one. Right? I love it. But thank you for being here, Roderick, and I thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you.
Take care all.
You know I've been around and doing it, but now it's my time to shine and start proving it. I'm losing it, I'm moving it. The city is where I'm made, Bostonian flow, I kick it back there. Yeah, I got game, God in a fan way. We the city of the champs, every sport we play. Spit wetter than the harbor, yeah, I'm flowing like the Charles. I be speeding on this beat, call it Turnpike Miles. Yeah, it's Bugle signing on, John to the Hancock, and I'm always key, I'm ready to unlock. I be doing big things, don't even have a deal. Yeah, I battle through these bars, yeah, I always bunk a hill. I know that any city I go in, that I be flyer than Logan, and I be flying high. I want this ship up in here, all the way to Shanghai. And my name's not Joe, but I'm not your average guy. I be killing it, east side rapping, cause I'm writing where I'm from. And I know for hella sure that I'm right with what I done. In a minute I'ma win it, chillin' with all these women. It's a dream I've been chasing and I'm never gonna pace it. This is something really got lost in. Everybody said no and now they all want it.